Hi everybody, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and we've got a full moon in Aquarius that is technically happening on the 22nd at 8:02 in the morning Eastern Time. But if you are intending to do your rituals or ceremonies, you may want to focus on this evening because it's at a very late degree of Aquarius, and once we get past the full moon tomorrow morning, the moon will be moving into Pisces. So let's see what I've written as a forecast for today. The full moon in Aquarius, August 21st and 22nd, 2021, Saturday and Sunday, directs the energy of an intelligent, future-focused, change-making moon transit toward discovering higher levels of thinking, being, and relating, or taking a chance on new opportunities as the moon joins expansive Jupiter in Aquarius. Your urge for change, improvement, or new horizons is also supported by a grand trine in the air element involving the destiny-determining North Node in curious and communicative Gemini, pleasure-seeking Venus in relationship-minded Libra, and constructive Saturn in progressive Aquarius. The full moon arrives at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday at the final degree of Aquarius, before quickly entering the mutable water sign of Pisces, where it will spend the rest of Sunday, slowing down the lightning-like knowing and emotional detachment of this full moon. If you plan on having a full moon ceremony, Saturday night is the better night, while the electrifying Aquarius moon and benevolent Jupiter are lifting you up into the crazy genius impulse-following air of Aquarius. On Sunday morning, you may be sleeping late as you enjoy some unusual and prophetic dreams while the moon shifts to dreamy, escapist Pisces. On Saturday, as the moon sits between Saturn and Jupiter, the moon forms a discerning and defining Yod aspect pattern involving thoughtful Mercury conjunct action-oriented Mars in problem-solving Virgo and needs-aware Chiron in assertive Aries, which can reveal the who, what, when, why, where, or how concerning any issue that is your greatest concern at this full moon. If you are seeking answers or solutions, you may find them now, but maybe not where you expect to find them. Look in unusual places and communicate with people outside of your own circle. If necessary, consult the eccentric expert in a particular subject. Stretching your mind removes ignorance and limitations. So let's take a look at what's going on up in the sky. Here's our grand trine, and we actually have a repeat of this grand trine in essence when we get to about September 22nd, when we have Mars take up this position in Libra and Venus moves on into Scorpio. So we have two windows right around full moons, this month, next month, where cooperation in relationship, choosing a path or destiny, opening up to destiny perhaps finding you, and looking toward the future in a constructive way and being a part of society in a bigger way is all being supported by that grand trine. Now here we have this Yod that I spoke of, and of course Virgo can be kind of overthinking things, a little too particular, but ultimately the decision to do what you need to do is what this Yod comes down to. That if things are going to change, it has to be you who makes them change, and you are going to have to take some actions, and maybe you even have to be a bit of a Karen, or and I perhaps shouldn't use that expression, but maybe you do have to get a little bit pissy. Maybe you do have to get detail-oriented, or ask the questions that are uncomfortable, or literally put pressure upon people who are in a position of power or control to change things. Maybe it's time to be a little bit outspoken and a little bit complaining, but you also have to be willing to do the work on your behalf that's going to make a change or a difference. You can't just sit and complain without actually taking actions if you want to see things change. So we've got a minor sextile going on here between Pluto and Neptune, and I feel like this is just very anchoring because where there's a will, there will be a way. And it faintly also forms a sextile here, but this is fading and not extremely active. But the outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, are still players in the game, empowering, rescuing, uplifting, saving, inspiring, and changing. And I feel that it is very much on a material plane because we have Capricorn and Taurus involved, and they are, success-oriented, materially oriented. We have the spiritual energy of Neptune and Pisces overseeing things. I do think that if we open up to our more divine side and put forth the energy toward making things better, then we're going to find the assistance that will help us in doing that. So we've got that opposition going on of the Sun and Jupiter, and then on Sunday, as we move closer toward that full moon, the moon will join Jupiter, and we're much more personal on the level of Leo, and we are much more group-oriented on the level of Aquarius. And here there can be a lot of strutting and, the fixed energy here of, well, this is how I do it, or this is the way I've always done it. I think a lot of it is bravado or fear in terms of looking at growth and the future and the unknown. So if people around you seem to be exhibiting a lot of that, prideful Leo energy and a lot of drama, or acting childish, because Leo does rule that childlike fifth house energy, just know that everybody's going through some growing pains right now. And if you feel some crankiness too, go out and play to alleviate some of the stress and the tension. Balance the work and the things that you have to do and the important, serious things with things that you enjoy doing, that are creative, that will help you alleviate some of that tension. When was the last time you sat there with a new box of crayons and some clean white paper? When was the last time you got together with friends and went bowling or played softball or simply went out and took some time off and played hooky from school or a job? Maybe you need a little bit of detachment and through play. And it is very often when we are out playing and letting go of those bigger concerns that the solution comes, the answer comes to our problems, when we stop worrying and nitpicking and we go out and we find joy in creation. And it is from joy that we manifest most easily. We can also manifest from fear and anger and other places, other emotions and energy, but joy and play is very powerful when it comes to manifesting. So overall, I think it's a really nice full moon. I like that it is there with Jupiter, and that does bring the growth and abundance. But if you're looking to it to come from a particular place, if you're very fixated that it has to be this way, and you want to try and control that, then you may be in for a surprise. And relationship-wise, well, there may be some duality going on there, and possibly meeting new people, flirtation, wanting a little more openness, or need for doing your own thing within relationship, or wishing, hoping that your partner would also enjoy what you would like to go out and do. But bring in a little communication to your relationships, a little tolerance, and other people. When we shut down the outer world and we only look to our partner, then the relationship eventually is going to become stifled and dies, or somebody is going to want to go out and have something new coming into their lives. So there is an energy here with the Grand Trine to get out there, meet new people, go to new places, learn new things, and bring your partner along while you're doing that. Get together and do group activities. Expand your horizons together to keep things fresh and alive and growing and changing, and that way you can enjoy those things together. But if you are looking for new love, then it is possible, and it may start out as friends. And if you're in an established relationship, bring in some more of the friendship energy into your existing relationship. Let's take a look now at the Sabian symbol and see what we have for this day. We round up the moon from 29 degrees 37 minutes to 30 degrees, and we are at the final degree here. And I do think this is a typo because I don't think it's deeply booted in the past. I think it's meant to say deeply rooted. Deeply rooted in the past of a very ancient culture, a spiritual brotherhood in which many individual minds are merged into the glowing light of a unanimous consciousness is revealed to one who has emerged successfully from his metamorphosis. We had a symbol of metamorphosis here with a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. So now we have the metamorphosis that is gone through, and there's an emergence into light and into the idea of oneness or a collective consciousness. The ability for the person with an open mind and a deep feeling for self-transcendence to come in contact with higher forms of existence. The originally recorded Sabian symbol stated the field of Ardeth in bloom, which referred to a scene in an occult novel by Marie Corelli centering upon ancient Babylon. The reference may well have been a blind, inasmuch as Mark Jones has stressed his inner contact with a brotherhood with Babylonian or Sabian roots. A spiritual brotherhood constitutes a state of multi-unity, i.e. a multiplicity of individuals. If one thinks of the paths they trod to reach their final metamorphosis, but a unity of consciousness and soul, thus unanimity, anima, meaning soul. In this spiritual whole, each unit is a recognizable form or entity if one looks at it with the eyes of personality. But when seen through a unified spiritual vision or from a distance, the whole appears to be one single area of radiant light. Similarly, when studied by the modern physicist, light can be apprehended either as a stream of identifiable particles, photons, or as one continuous wave. Whether it is seen as one or the other depends on the point of view. This is the last and culminating symbol of scene 22 of the cyclic ritual. This is indeed a fitting symbol, as the number 22 symbolizes all forms of mastery. At any level, it is a symbol of spiritual group fulfillment, of conscious totality of being. Well, in our grand shrine, we do have the 3 air signs, and not that one is better or higher than the other, but Gemini rules the 3rd house. Formative ideas, imagination, siblings, neighbors. This is where we are more young in the beginning of something and opening up on the imaginative level and making those acquaintances and thinking those beginning thoughts. And then as we share with other people and we seek harmony, balance, compromise, and we learn to use relationships in a socially correct way, and we go in deeper in one-on-one relationships, we have the Libra energy. And then as we go into Aquarius, we're looking at, Libra rules the 7th house of one-on-one relationships. In the 11th house, the Aquarius energy of friends, groups, organizations, humanity, more people, society as a whole, or the oneness of everybody. That is where we have the highest octave of air. So we have all of these air signs very active right now, and you can look to your own 3rd, 7th, and 11th houses and see what signs you have there, what planets you may have transiting there. If you would like to find out, what are these transits doing in your own natal chart, and you are not skilled in doing that on your own, you can schedule an appointment with me and we can look over transits to your natal chart. But I would look to this grand trine right now almost as much as looking toward just the full moon, because this moon is passing over Saturn and then joining Jupiter. And we have to look at the work that we are doing toward the change and growth, and then what supports that. And anytime we have some enclosed geometric patterns that are pulling in the energy of other planets and placements, this is particularly important with the North Node. We are creating our future, and we are also creating history. So we can do that on an individual level. We can do that with others one-on-one, and we can also look toward how we are doing it at the larger organizational level of society. So that is it for the full moon. I wish you many blessings and prosperity as you go through your growth and change. You take care, and I will talk to you soon.